Welcome, bowling fans, to Strikers, the Bowling Champions. This is Mark Bouchet, alongside my good friend and confidant and co-anchor, Don Mose, the one and only. Don Mose, Storm Nation.
Daddy-o, how you doing?
That's it, man. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. This is the last show with our round of 32 bowlers, and we've got 4 competitors. A lot of newcomers to this with Pierre Bouchet, Pierre-David Levasseur, Cheny Joubert, and Alex Marcotte. A lot of these guys have been on local shows, but not on Strikers. You know, so this is their first experience right here on the Strikers TV show. We're looking forward to it.
I'm hoping we can get a match that's very similar to last week, with just an absolutely exciting ending. Last week's matches were exceptional.
Yeah, going into the 10th frame, that's really what you want to see.
Absolutely.
Yep. So we got Pierre Bouchet out of Salon Quilles Charmont in the Sherbrooke area. He is the proprietor of the bowling center, and he is here on his first appearance on Strikers, and with a bad break to start the game with a 6-7.
You know, it's that first game jitters. You sit down for a little bit, you get a little stiff, and you get up, and you just lose a little ball speed, or you overhit the bottom a little bit. And instead of catching a break, you just, you get a bad result, unfortunately.
Yep. So he's going to try to slide this over, getting the ball onto the right side of the 6-pin. Let's see what he got here. And he's throwing a pearl ball with a little bit of surface on it. So let's see what this is going to bring going forward. I thought it was a pretty good shot off his hand, just creeped up a little bit high. And now we get our first look at Pierre David.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't David go ahead and try out for Team Canada a few times?
Yeah, he's been in and out a little bit.
I've seen him bowl before.
Yeah, he's bowled quite a bit in the past. You know, he's got a bunch of 300s to his resume, 19 300s, 7 800s, with a high triple of 857. So definitely not a nobody on a bowling lane, that's for sure.
He throws it very well. He's got a very nice game. Long, high backswing, long follow through, good ball speed. If you watch the ball go through the rack.
Yeah, he qualified out of Salon Quilles Grand Prix in Louisville, Quebec, to be able to make it here to the provincial final and win a spot being the 22nd seed for the TV show here at Salon Quilles Montmorency in Quebec City.
Yep, and he's throwing the legendary IQ Tour.
IQ Tour, pin up. A lot of guys have had success with pin down stuff though, but you know, he twirls it a little bit out of his release, but you know, he's worked a lot on his game a lot recently. Used to carry it up in the swing a lot more, and now he's a bit more fluid.
Wow. Hello, lane 4. There we go again.
Here we go. It hasn't reared its head as bad in the last couple of games, but definitely.
Boy, it sure did right there.
Yeah, it sure did.
He threw it good, and that ball didn't even begin to reach the spot. You know, when watching David play last week, I was utterly amazed, because anybody with hand that got on there, they struggled. And he was able to get in way deep and feed the ball to the spot, and he actually opened the lanes up.
So we got a second look there at Pierre. Pierre's extremely proud, and he told us earlier that his high 4-game set is 1142.
That's a lot of pins.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot
of pins.
Man.
You know, so he's been bowling for 28 years, and he's got. He can put the striking shoes on when he's got a good look, that's for sure.
He's got a very classical style. And once again, look at his point of release. We look at all the players that had success today. He doesn't touch it in the bottom. His hand is open coming through.
Correct. So really looking forward to seeing an adjustment here at Pierre. Going high in the first shot, Doan. Think he's going to move right a bit?
I certainly would. You definitely got it. You need to change your angle a little bit. As you can see, he definitely got it further out.
Yep.
Ball hung a little bit, so he might have made an over adjustment. Maybe got the feet a little bit left and opened the eyes up a little bit to create a little more angle to the front.
Yeah, so he went a little bit far to the right. Create a little bit more angle there, like you said.
But you can also see in the bottom of the swing, he hit up on that one a little bit just to try and get the ball to jump in the back end. I think he'd have been just fine with just a move, just moving in, just keeping the hand soft through.
Correct. So, you know, pretty routine spare here. He's got to make some adjustments. I think he's got to go to something that's going to roll up in the mid lane a bit more.
I agree. Getting out of that pearl ball might not be a bad idea. Getting into something maybe like a hybrid with a touch of surface on it, or even get into a strong solid would not hurt him by any means. His
Correct.
hand is soft, so he has the ability. When you have a soft hand like that, even though your speed isn't quite as high, your ball will still push.
Yes.
And so he has that ability to create that long push down the lane.
Definitely. But you know what we're seeing here is Pierre David with a really solid start with the front two, and you know, Pierre not even striking yet after 3. Ooh. I talk too fast, man.
Yeah. Now, well, what happens here is now you're getting the cross between the right and the left lane, and this has happened to a lot of great players so far through all these weeks, to where they throw it on the right lane and the ball hooks, and then they happen to go ahead and move in on the left lane, and now the ball hangs, and now they get themselves in trouble.
Yep. So there we. So we've got Pierre David now with the open in the 3rd. Let's see if he bounces back here in the 4th. Still pretty much open game. He's got a 10-pin lead going into the 4th frame. Just needs to execute and make a great shot here.
Absolutely. Now, what kind of move would you do with him? I mean, after seeing David bowl last week, would you try and get in and let the ball push soft to the pocket? Because he actually had a really good look, create an angle to the front, and he was the only one that we've seen do it so far.
Well, he's using 2 different balls, right? He's not throwing the same ball in the left lane, it seems like.
I thought he was.
I don't know. The ball looked a little bit different on the left lane. We don't have that good of a vantage point from here, but almost looks like he's throwing 2 different pieces. Let me see what I can gather. Yeah, he's got. No, that's it. He's only throwing the one.
Yeah, I thought he was only throwing an IQ tour.
I thought for some reason he was throwing something else. He's throwing something else now, and his spares, obviously.
But, you know, if you look at the point of release, I mean, he was still clean to the. He has a little bit like David. They both are sort of that clean push. He might be able to get in and open the back ends of it like David did. I thought David, you know, out of everything we saw so far, he definitely defied, you know, as far as playing the lanes. I mean, he was able to get in, float the ball to the spot, and open the back ends up like David always does.
Yep, definitely. So we got Pierre back here. He needs to get into a must-strike situation here. There we go.
There we
Good
go.
move. Moved a little bit further into the lane and using that push right in the middle of the lane to get that ball to get to the pocket nice and correctly.
That snap block looks pretty good off the back end.
Yep, there you go. Great shot by Pierre Bouchet.
That's one of my favorite balls. I mean, for a you know, a shiny pro ball like that, that ball actually picks up fairly early on a little bit of oil.
Yes.
It's very surprising. That's a good shot. That, oh my gosh, that was close.
Yeah, great shot by Pierre. Made the move on the left lane, made the same move here on the right. And, you know, unfortunate result with the 7-pin, but should be a routine spare here for Pierre.
He's got a very classical arm swing. It's just smooth and soft. I enjoy watching bowlers like that bowl.
Yep.
You know, it's fun watching the wood fly around the lane, but as far as repetition, someone like that, they just repeat.
Definitely. So, you know, just a great routine spare there with the 7-pin. He's only got 1 strike on the board, though, and he's got to figure something out so he can get a couple more strikes.
He just switched balls, didn't he? What do we got here? That looks like a phase 2.
Yeah, it's got some red in it from what we see. Yeah, that's a phase 2.
Certainly is.
Yeah.
That'll pick up. So if I'm looking at this, my guess is he wants to get in deeper in the lane because this is going to rev up.
So what's the difference between the 2 pieces that he's using?
Well, the RGs are pretty similar. They're both low RG, but the differential in the bowling ball, this bowling ball has got a lot more differentials. You can see the ball finished, and having more flare allows the ball to pick up an earlier transition and lets the ball be smoother. Where the IQ Tour has less flare, so the ball tends to want to push the front part of the lane longer. Because the ball doesn't have as wide a footprint, and then the ball makes a stronger motion at the spot.
So in layman's terms, one hooks more than the other.
Something like that.
There you go. So he's still keeping that IQ Tour on the right lane, being that the right lane has been the lane that hooks the most.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because that ball will clean the front, but it won't get so wild in the back as the RG's low on it.
Definitely. Taking his time.
Yep.
Getting ready for another great shot here.
Nice and soft. Oh, my goodness.
I don't think it's the same. A lot of guys get trapped sometimes into thinking, okay, a lane hooks more than the other one. I'll just ball down and play in the same spot. Well, I'm not an advocate of that. Like, if you have a good ball reaction with a ball in a lane and the other one's playing a little bit different, okay, fine. Try a different piece of equipment, but you don't have to play them the same.
No, I agree. I agree, and especially the history of Lane 4. And this isn't the first telecast. By watching any of them, you should be you should be to come here and have a little game plan.
Correct.
As far as plays. So I think what happens, there's something out there in Lane 4 that fakes everybody. I know that they see it, they talk about it, but they get out and they bowl, and something fakes them in that part of the lane. So there's something going on out there, organically with the oil or whatever that's getting to see a look, and they think they're hitting them, and all
Definitely.
of a sudden, they get caught. Because David made a mention of that when I talked to him before last week before he left.
Definitely. So Pierre can take a little bit of a lead here in the sixth.
He didn't look very happy with that shot.
Yep. Well, still,
Yeah, but
even though you're not happy with the shot, you still have a 6-pin lead going into the seventh.
And it's a single pin to pick up.
With a spare.
Yeah, a single pin to pick up is no design.
So for that, not bad, not too shabby anyways, but easy pickings for Pierre. So we've got a potential new leader after 6, just by staying clean over the last 5 frames, though.
Well, and there you go. You said the magic word, clean. And the touring players, when they're out there bowling, and even some of the great amateurs, they just talk about staying clean. If they don't have a good ball reaction, it has nothing to do with picking spares. It's just keeping the ball in play and just trying to leave, as pickable. Oh my goodness!
There you go. Another makeable, though.
What a good break.
Yeah, going high a little bit. Leaving, fortunately, only the 6-10.
Look at this ball in the back end. It just charges.
Yep. He got that one in a little bit, Don.
Yep. That might have been one of those times where maybe the flat bottom pin actually helped the follow. As it got to the point, it tipped.
Routine spare, covers up. Pierre David, must strike situation here to stay in the lead. Right now he's down by 4. Can turn that into an advantage of 6 here with a potential strike or a little striking streak of 2 strikes.
Now, his rev rate's relatively high. And would you want to move in with the IQ Tour and let the ball push on lane 4? Or would you want to try and move right and deaden up?
Well, he's got that phase 2 in his hand on the left lane. Still looks really good.
But I mean the right lane. I mean the right lane.
We're not on the right lane.
No, but when he gets on the right lane.
Yeah, but we're not on the right lane. Focus on the left lane.
Because that
you see, just like him, he focused on the left lane.
That ball.
Now we can talk about the right lane.
That ball reaction looks awesome.
He's got a good look. I think what he's doing right now is he's got to go on the right lane. He's got to move left, and he's got to stay with that IQ.
I agree, and he needs to keep his hands soft and push the ball to the front and let the ball roll the back in.
So let's see what he does here. I think he's going to make that move. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's getting himself into as well. So really looking forward to seeing what this move is going to be like.
Let's see where he's at here in the lane. He looks about the same point.
Yeah, he's scooching left a bit.
Yeah, not much. But let's just see. He might be one of he pushes the ball here a bit more left to create, open his angles up some.
Definitely.
Oh, he opened up.
That's got to push. That's going left.
Oh,
the Brooklyn strike!
Break.
He gets the Brooklyn strike. Lucky in Kentucky. Wow. But, hey, you know what? That's the time to do it. You pured it on the left lane, and just a horrible shot on the right lane, but still great break with the big double.
Look at his face. It's just utter disgust. Hey, look, once again, when you turn your back and it's all done, you look up at the score. It doesn't say Brooklyn strike. It says strike.
But he's got to ponder right now what he's got to do on the right lane.
Yeah.
Good shot by Pierre. Great shot by Pierre.
He showed right up.
He's just like, hey, you got a good break. This is how you strike.
That's right.
This is how you strike. I don't need luck.
I just want to execute.
I got this. Pierre needs to double up here because he can take. What do we got here, Don? He can stay in the lead with the strike here in the ninth.
If he sheets is 214.
Yeah.
And his opponent's sheets is 221.
Yeah, Pierre David can strike out for 221. So he needs this must strike situation.
Oh, that's a good shot. He just missed the spot. He really stayed down with it. He pushed it to the front good. Just missed.
Great shot by Pierre. Just a little bit. Didn't catch it as much, right?
Yeah, it's something looked off. But I mean, at the point of execution, it looked good.
Definitely. So should be a routine spare here. He's just going to move his feet a little bit to the left, feed it to the dry a little bit quicker, and just see the ball take care. And on these types of spares, Don, you want to use a hook ball, right? Because you want to take care of the 9-pin.
God, you gotta. Because you can throw it straight at it, but you're looking at executing, the perfect spare shot. And with that in mind, if you throw urine or resin, if it seeks any dry on the lane, the ball's in a check. So you got to throw polyester. And on polyester, if you don't hit it dead on, it's going to deflect.
Yes.
So you got to throw your strike shot and make an adjustment accordingly.
So Pierre can strike out for 195. And basically with a strike here for Pierre David, he pretty much seals the deal.
Yeah, this is the key.
Yep. Big deep breath on the left lane. This is his favorite lane.
Yep. Good shot.
Get there, peel. Oh, it peels off the spot. He was asking it for help. Twirly whirly, baby. He was looking for the twirl. Look at this replay. Nice high backswing, gets through it, gets it a little bit to the right. He's like, gotta peel, and it peels.
It comes off.
And there it goes, baby. You see, spin the wheel of fortune. Here we go.
Now,
great shot.
Here's the trick. I mean,
yeah, I was even helping in the back there.
I'm telling you, I thought you were winding the other way there to slow down. My God. So he split in the 6th. He Brooklyn in the 8th. Now, if he gets bad count, that changes things. So, I mean, you got to sit down. You got to investigate this shot mentally as far as how you want to attack the lanes.
Definitely.
So you're going to have to trust it.
Yep.
He knows he needs to get it
well,
right.
Well, look, he's using the same ball as he is on the left lane.
Oh, boy.
Big move. That's got a hook. That's got a hook. Go. Block it.
Wow.
Oof.
That
Good
was
shot,
a
though.
nice
that
reaction.
was a good shot.
Yeah. That was readable.
Yep, that was a good shot. Okay. What do we got here? We can do...
Wait,
he needs a spare.
Yeah, he's 2-0.
He needs a spare.
Yep.
Since last week I made a mistake on the call, I'm going to let you count the scores now. What's 2 + 2 again?
I don't know. I guess it matters, how many directions you want to add.
It would be a lot easier if these guys just kept striking. 300 versus 300. That'd be easy. Hard and straight on the 7-pin.
Well, that's gutsy. I've never been one to like to hook it across lane.
Yep.
Because especially the resin, the lanes break down. They get dirty in parts, and that resin's aggressive. It can hit it, and you can actually miss by miles by throwing a good shot.
Since he doesn't know what's going on in his right lane, do you just throw a dart down the middle?
No.
He needs 6.
I know, but personally, I would get lined up, and I would try and execute a shot.
No, because if you do that, you risk the chance of getting a 5 count.
Well,
there was so many PBA washouts on this pair.
Yeah, but last time he flushed with a 9 count. It looked good. I'd still go after it. I have faith.
You have faith, but I don't know.
I got faith.
Pierre David Levasseur comes up with the win, shutting out Pierre Bouchet, who he can finish out with a max of 195. Trying to finish off here, spare in the 10th, possibly with the 7-pin. Again, Pierre David, 22nd seed coming in, comes up with the win. We'll move on to the next bracket to face the winner of the next match between Shani Joubert and Alex Marcotte. Shani bowling out of I'm sorry, I have a blank now. He's bowling out of Louisville. That's where he won the spot at Salonki Grand Prix. And Alex Marcotte out of Coaticook, Quebec, and he won a spot out of Riviera. So really looking forward to seeing these guys again, guys from different parts of the province. And true gentleman here, Pierre in defeat, losing 183 to 200 to Pierre David Levasseur. So we see PD making some moves. He made a ball change on the left lane, going to the face, do something a little bit stronger. And he makes a little bit of a gutsy move on the right lane, going to the same ball, and goes flush 7-pin, and then high flush trip 4. What's he doing or what's he thinking about during this break?
Well, if I was in his shoes, I would just go down and get loose, but I would still come on over and I would hang around and get an idea how the ball is making motion with these guys, how they're breaking down, so I had a game plan to come back. And the reason why I'm saying that is, once again, the lights. These guys are throwing some servers, throwing strong bowling balls. They're going to go ahead and adjust the pattern. At least when you come on over, you can have an idea where you can start. Because right now is the most important one to watch, because eventually they're going to get around the pocket. You can see where they're at here. Go do your thing. Come on back towards the end and watch where they are. And you can get an idea what the transition's taking place from where they started to where they're ending when you come back.
Definitely.
And with that in mind, you have a game plan to where you can start, or at least you can see where the ball's running the back end and figure out how you want to attack it.
Correct. So this is going to be my first glimpse at Alex Marcotte. I've yet to see him throw a ball. Didn't get a chance to watch him on the practice pair. I've known Shanny for a while. He's bowled out of the bowling center in Rivière-du-Loup. You know the Rossignol family very well.
Yes.
So they took him under his wing. Used to work at the center for a while, and that's it. So now he's back here. And he's moved a little bit closer. He's in Three Rivers now, and you know, he's a true force to reckon with. Great power player, and like I said here, first look at Alex Marcotte on the right lane, on lane 4.
He's stuck in the ball return already.
Great shot. Ooh, baby!
Oh my goodness.
High strike, tripping the 4 for Alex Marcotte. First time we see him on the bright lights of TV.
Now, he's not throwing a very strong ball. His roll is really heavy.
Yep.
And you can see right there, the ball's trying to check up, but since it's like a weaker cover ball, the ball it just can't make motion.
Correct. So here we see first look at Shanny. You're going to see really high backswing and just rips on it. A lot of ball speed, a lot of rev rate. And he's the buzzsaw, man. He really gets on it. And you're going to see those pins fly because he's got one of the highest rev rates on the show.
Oh, my God. He grabs a mittful.
Definitely. Great shot by Shanny.
Now, you know, once again, now it's interesting because where some of the guys that have finesse that revved it, I mean, he's raw power.
Right.
So is he able to get deep enough on 4 and get the ball to the front? Is he going to create angle?
Right. He's throwing something that's pretty angular. He's got a timeless in his hands right now.
It missed the spot. It got
missed
through.
Missed the spot, still got through.
Yep.
And he's telling himself to calm down after that shot because he liked it.
Yep. Now, even though if you take a look at it, you know, it was a ring 10, would you not get more left in the lane? Because that ball was trying to check.
Yes.
I would too. And I would
when in doubt, move left.
Yeah, absolutely.
We could write a book after all this, man. Tips of the trade.
I'm telling you. There only might be 4 chapters, but it's a book.
Hey, it could only be one word if we wanted it to.
There you go.
Just a whole bunch of blank pages.
Yeah. Whoa.
Whoa. You're reading too much.
Look at this.
Oh, baby, launched out the 10.
Just a little tap on the 10.
Yeah, look at the little love tap here. Look at the little love tap here going into the pins. Great end-over-end roll. See the 6 pin just go to the sidewall and just take care of the 10 pin. He's happy with that result.
He's got really heavy roll. His ball rolls heavy.
Definitely.
Is he getting in a little bit deeper?
Looks like it. It looks like he's counting the boards a bit before he's getting started.
He certainly is.
That looks okay. Oh boy, that's in. 3-6-10 again.
He lost his leverage on that, and the elbow came around. So he lost his ability to push the ball to the front. You can see right there, he's falling off balance before the ball is even out of his hand.
Yep.
With that in mind, so you're falling out of balance, and your hand starts tipping to the side as you come out of it. You're absolutely hitting it, you know, going across the top. So the ball's going to pick up early on you.
Correct. So making the switch to something a little bit less aggressive on the spare. Really looking to cover the right side of the 3-pin, carry the 3-6-10 with the ball. That's what we got to do here. Hook. Ooh, chops the spare.
Boy, you know, and that's a tough decision there. Do you throw a spare ball or do you throw your strike ball?
Spare ball.
I mean, it is a tough decision.
Spare ball.
I throw a spare ball, but other people.
Only time I throw a hook on my spares is if there's a pin behind, a sleeper. Yeah. So if it's 3-6-9-10, then I'm home throwing a hook.
Yep.
Because by throwing it straight, you take the pattern out of it. Oh, baby, great shot from Shanny.
Do you ever put any surface on your polyester ball?
No.
For myself, I do a little bit.
Hey, you don't throw it straight enough, that's why. So we got a great shot again by Shanny. He's got a pretty good look, though. He's just got to get squared up here. I think he's going to make a little bit of a move left on lane 4 and try to make a little bit of a better shot because it seemed like he didn't twist it enough on the last shot on lane 4.
I would definitely make more of a jump in. Well, he might be far enough where he might have to drift on over on one of his steps.
Oh, he's not that far left. He's around 18 at the arrows. Great shot again by Shanny. He's got a pretty good look. And the advantage, too, is that he's a power player, but he's got the speed.
Yes.
So by him having the speed, he's able to still square up and use that big puddle in the middle part of the lane. And that's what he's got to do. That's the key to success. We've seen a lot of the power players struggle, but it's because they were rev dominant
over speed. That's right.
And right now we've got a high rev player, but his speed matches up, so it makes him a match.
Look at that.
Great. So we've got Alex here with a double for the first time. So going strike, spare, double, going into the fifth with a slight lead over, no, excuse me, I'm looking at the wrong side there. So double open strike, getting him back on the board. Really, you know, with that missed spare in the last attempt on the right lane.
He inched over a little bit more even yet this year.
Oh, that's got a hook. Oh, baby! Getting the 10 out, slapping it.
That 6 is absolutely brutally beat the 10 out of a spot.
Watch that 6-pin take care of business. Boom!
Boom!
Knocking it. Even making it shift and then knocking it over.
Took its knees right out.
That's it. Oh, he's a big fella, man. You know,
what do they call that? A chop block?
I don't know. He looks like one of those lumberjack guys there in those competition. I don't want to see him with an axe next to me, chopping down lumber like that 10-pin. Great shot by Shanny, baby. There we go with a 3-bagger in the fifth. Taking an early lead here with a 25-pin lead going into the sixth.
He's got such a contemporary game. Hand in front of the face, he follows through as he's got that good side tilt.
15-pin lead, excuse me, not 25. Not bad.
You need a coffee, don't you? Who's making a Timmy's run?
I'm looking into the future. I'm thinking strike out. I'm not counting basic, anyways, whatever. I'll stop. I'll let you do your job. Come on, ball. Get up, block it. Oh, baby! He gets the strike. That was a close tomahawk.
That's bird dog.
The bird dog, baby. The bird dog. Look, not even one, like 2 bird dogs on that one. Look at this bad boy. Look, look. Boom!
No!
He gets the axe and the tomahawk to get the 10-pin out. You see that? And he's like, whatever, man. This is easy peasy for me.
Oh. PBA washout.
PBA washout. Hey, you see, I was talking about 5-count earlier.
There it is.
There it is. That's when your opponent is throwing pins around like that on the deck.
It's intimidating. I mean, you really got to go ahead and stay within the moment. You cannot let your thoughts get carried away. You have to stay focused. And some players can't even watch their competition bowl because it gets in their head. So everybody's a little bit different. You got to be able to go ahead and attack that day as you can accept it as it is.
Yeah, so Shanny's got a commanding lead here. Could turn into a 60 some odd pin lead here if he's got a really good look, Don. I think he's going to be one of the guys in this top 8 bracket going forward.
Again, his ball speed is firm enough where he eliminates that spot in the lane.
Yep.
You know, either you got to be super firm or ultra soft.
So we got double open, double open.
He got that in, he got that in.
Alex,
oh, boy.
Going high again, 3-6-10. This is what he left on the third frame. In the third frame on the right lane here. Going high again, leaving the 3-6-10.
Yeah, he got the ball about 4 boards in.
Yep.
And once again, there's that spot. I believe if he gets a little bit deeper, I think he can create some angle and bypass that.
Yep, definitely.
But he's sort of in that gray area right now to where he has to be perfect to get through it.
So let's see, easy conversion here. There we go.
Got it.
Much better spare.
Absolutely.
So we've got 124 possible in the 7th for Alex and Shanny, the buzz cut. The tomahawk throwing. What else can we call him? The messenger throwing.
Shoot the missile throwing. Shoot the missile throwing.
Missile throwing. Look at this, off his hand, just huge rev rate. That got in.
Oh,
and he carries the 4
that?
pin. That was the high swish zone hit. Look at this, just unwails on it at the bottom, gets it inside his target. Ball stays in on lane 3. He's got some shim room there. And the head pin takes care of the 4 pin. No problemo. And again, with another messenger on the way for backup.
That was beautiful.
You know, it's got the stormtroopers on the way too.
I'm telling you. We can call him the trooper. That's what he sends. He sends troopers.
Yeah, super troopers.
Super troopers.
Did you say MK or
who? Look at this.
No, movie Super Troopers. Did you say yeah, sure, or yes, sir?
What happened?
No comment. So he throws that one through the spot, leaves the 2-7. Just way too fast. Way too fast.
He got a little amped up.
Yeah, he got too amped up, and he's in the moment right now where he's on cruise control.
Sure.
And you never want to be on cruise control in a one-game match, even though, you know, he's got a commanding lead going into the 9th frame.
Big spares.
Splits up, makes up the split here with, you know, potential 258 for Shanny and a potential of only 214 for 214 for Alex. So, you know, Alex absolutely in a must-strike situation, and Shanny, excuse me, just needs to stay in front of foul line.
If he strikes in the 9th, well, it's done now.
Yeah.
But if he struck in the 9th and just had, you know, a few pins, it's win.
Definitely.
So.
Yep. So Alex is going to go for the 6-pin here, and Shanny will be moving on to take on Pierre David Levasseur, who just won the match against Pierre Bouchet. And the winner of that match coming up will take on Marc-Olivier Gendron in the next following week in the round of 8.
Yes. And you know, I know Alex looks like, you know, he didn't bowl a very good match, but his game was not that bad. He caught a couple bad breaks. Had a split, but you know, he's actually got a good look on the lane.
Definitely.
You know, but it's really difficult in that position there where your opponent is absolutely opening up the lane, and it's very difficult not to pay attention. Some bowlers really get, when their competition is going wild, it's hard for them to stay focused. Switch balls.
Almost tickles it down.
Yeah, that really picked up early.
Yeah, too late, but, you know, unfortunately leaves the 10-pin there. It's going to be a routine spare for him. Just still great showing. Great to have him on TV. And I don't think this is the last that we'll see of him.
Oh, heavens no. He has a really, really heavy roll. He throws it very well.
Yeah, he's got a good game. And just talking to him a little bit off the air, you know, very enthusiastic about being here. Very stoked to be here. And I think he wants to relive this moment and improve on it, definitely.
Well, you know, like we said earlier, you know, in the weeks, in the first part of the weeks, even you come out here and you don't win. When you walk off the lanes, you carry something with you, and you learn from it.
Definitely.
And so every time as you get these positions, you learn, and all of a sudden, you know how the position is. You'll get to that peak, and once you cross that peak, then everything starts coming together.
Yes. Great shot by Shanny again. Man, he's throwing pins around. I would have tried something there. You know, like we keep saying, like once you have the game in check and you know that you got the win and it's settled already and you got a couple frames and why not try something? Certainly.
You know, but at a young age right now, I mean, he's just focusing on execution. You know, as some of the savvy veterans at this point, they're looking at, well, I'm looking at a second window. And what you got to look at there is, where do you think the lanes are going to migrate to? I mean, they're going through migration now. Because you look at the first part of the game, he went pocket, you know, 9 count, and then you know, a few strikes in a row. Now all of a sudden he's, you know, his ball's not reading the same way.
And he's bowling against somebody in the next match that's throwing a bit more surface than he is.
Yes, right there, transition.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because PD is going to be left of him, and he might tear up a track for him, so that could spell trouble for Shanny.
Yes, it could.
You know, but still coming out here, he probably made a move, tried to see if he could move a little bit further right, and no beans on that one. See if he makes the great spread. He's just showing off now. You know, he's telling Pierre David, I'm not going nowhere. It don't matter if I don't strike. I'm going to finish clean, and this is going to be a really tough one for you to come by me. So with a strike here, shoots 233.
He just switched balls.
Yep. So with a strike here in the field, he's going to shoot 233.
It's an interesting change here.
Yeah, he goes to something really rolly, and I don't know if that's the move.
I'd have to agree with you.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the move. I would have probably chased it a little bit left, soften up my speed a bit, and let the ball take care of it, because the ball that he's got in his hand is not bad.
No, it actually is very good. He was just throwing it firm.
Yep.
And then Alex went ahead and switched to a much stronger bowling ball.
Yep. Yeah, he made a switch, went to something that skids down the lane a little bit more, sharper change of direction. And we see that sharp change of direction. It almost looks like somebody kicks it down lane. And you know, I don't know if that's the move to make on this type of stuff, man, on this type of pattern. It's just, it hasn't been working for a lot of players. And it just seems like the more controlled type layouts, type balls, they've been working the best. And, you know, Alex is going to come out here and going to finish up with a possible 180 and Shanny 230. So, you know, Shanny has the upper hand with a higher game going into the next game with Pierre David only shooting 200 the last game. But, you know, still two fierce competitors. But I'm going to be very curious into seeing how Pierre David's look is going to change Shanny's look because of the fact that he's throwing a stronger piece of equipment. So Alex finishes off here with the loss at 176, getting beat by Shanny Joubert 232. Shanny had a great start to the match, going strike, five-bagger, strike, spare, five-bagger, yeah. And then spare, spare, spare to finish off the match for 230. So he has a potential 240 look. He's just got to figure out later in the game what's going to happen. So he's got momentum on his side where he's still staying on this pair. And Pierre David had some time. I saw him warming up on the practice pair, getting some shots in, but not trying to get too influenced by what's happening on the practice pair. So he knows what's going on here. He's going to come in and make some great shots to get started. So I'm really looking forward to this match because he got lined up late.
Yes, he did.
He got lined up pretty late with the ball change on the right lane, and that's the ball that he's actually throwing right now on the practice shots here. And like I said, he's going to be a little bit further left than.
Yeah, he'll even get further left now. Now it looks like he's going to click run over and make a ball change.
He's running off there. He saw me make a motion there, and
yeah.
We'll see what he's got to try there. So he's looking around. He's trying to find something, but you know,
he looks like he's missing a bowling ball.
Shanny's got a really, really good look, and this is going to be a pretty good match.
What are we bringing now?
This is going to be a pretty good match between our two players. We got two power players standing a little bit further left than most of the field, feeding it to the right, getting a little bit more change of direction.
And you have two separate power players because one is a pure raw power player where it's a lot of speed, a lot of revolutions, and the other one's a little more finesse.
Correct.
You know, so that they're both going to get a good reaction. They're going to enter the front part of the lane a little bit different, and enter the motion. You know, they have a little bit different motion on the back end.
But yeah, like we said, just one's going to be a little bit further left than the other. However, Shanny can get on top of PD if he wants to.
Yes, agree.
You know, if PD, if Shanny takes a little bit of speed out and just rolls it nice and soft, and I've seen him do it. He can do it. He's a good player. He can do it. So if he does that, he might be able to play in the same wheelhouse as Pierre David. So I don't know, man. This is a toss-up. This is going to be one of the closest matches we've seen, in my opinion. I'd like to see a tiebreaker.
Oh, I love it. Are you kidding me?
I'd love to see it, especially this late in the in the rounds leading up to the next round, which will be the top 8, and trying to find the winner of the B side of the bracket to go on and face Marc-André Gagné, who won the A side of the bracket a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
So
he's starting out with a phase 2 yet.
So he's staying with that same ball that he finished with.
Boy, that check
goes high.
It's amazing because where he was at there, he was flushing. It looked incredible. Then all of a sudden he takes off for 12 shots, and he comes back.
Right, definitely. But he's got to keep that speed up because he's now a game in. Again, the lights, you know, yada yada. Him being a little bit cold, having sat down. It's. You know, he's got to get back into the motions, but, you know, 6 count on the first shot, that's a bit tough to swallow.
You know what? You know, all the league bowlers out there, I mean, just think about that. It's 12 shots. And when he left, the last shot he threw, he flushed.
Yes.
He had a couple, Shaney came out, had a couple practice shots, and then they bowled. And now look at it. It's like he walked into a whole new bowling center.
Well,
so that gives you.
Let's see what he does here on the left.
I mean, I'm just trying to make a point is that that's how fast the lanes break down.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Especially in a one-game match like this, because you're throwing ball on top of ball on top of ball, whereas when you're bowling in league or you're bowling in a tournament setting, you're not the only one throwing in that line. So you got guys left of you, got guys right of you.
Sure.
But when you're always throwing shot on top of shot on top of shot, well, you're drying up that same spot on the lane.
Very quickly.
So even though there's less play on the lane, you're getting maybe a little bit more breakdown.
Sure.
Right?
Sure. Agree.
So we see he goes high, leaves the 4-pin. Hard and straight at the 4-pin. A lot of guys like hooking it on the left side, spares. So we see here really high backswing, just likes to, you know, just pop right out of it, get the handful, get a nice big mid of it, and just cross the whole lane, pick up the 4-pin. So let's see here if he's going to make a little bit of a move. Looks like he's making a ball change.
Certainly is.
Yep. He's going to something with a lot smoother surface, something with a solid cover like we explained a couple weeks ago. Let's see what this is going to do for him.
Oh my God.
Wow. That was a good move. I felt like that almost hooked too early, and it just, look at this thing, just finished.
That didn't even hardly wiggle going to the pins.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Man.
Wow.
Just like the 9-pin just sat there and gave him a raspberry, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Just,
the problem is, though, if he moves left off of that, I don't think it's making it. I don't think that ball's going to make it up the hill.
No, it's not strong enough.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to make it up the hill. I think he's going to stay with that same ball he used in game 1 to absolutely maul him in the first part of the game and just maybe move about 4 boards left. Like I said, slow down, open up the lane a little bit because he can do it, because he's got so much forward roll that it's not going to create a herky-jerky motion in the back part of the lane.
It's a good shot. Flush.
Great shot by Pierre David, coming back off for the poor shot on the right lane. He's got that, but again, that was the lane on which he struck almost every shot in the last game.
Exactly. I was going to say that's the lane that he dominated on. Now we're back to the right lane again. Now we're back to the lane where everybody has issues with.
Everybody.
Yeah. I mean, it's just,
everybody. Even in the A side of the bracket, throughout all these weeks, nothing has changed. You know, the environment's staying the same. Or redressing for every show, and makes a big difference. So, a lot of the players are having the same trouble, and I'm still surprised that some guys haven't been able to figure it out.
See if he drifts in a little bit deeper this time. He got in deeper.
That looks good. Oh, ball got lazy.
Yeah, that's close.
You see, that's the problem on the right lane. On the right lane, is that if you start chasing a bit too far left, you need a ball that's going to got a little bit more oomph in the back part of the lane.
Agree.
To make it up the hill, because that was a very good shot.
It was an excellent shot.
Yeah, either that or he's got to tip his axis rotation a little bit more. So instead of being more behind it, he's got to get his hand a little bit around it. That's going to create a little bit more of a rounded shape in the break point.
Agree. He needs a little more continuation. He's close though. He's very close.
Yes, definitely. He's got the right idea, but when you're bowling against a guy lucky, got away with that one. That thing hooked as soon as it hit the lane.
My chair was on one leg. Oh my Lord.
Yeah, that looked like it was going to just take out the 2-pin on that one. So Shanny's the only one to back-to-back pocket hits, right?
Yeah.
So he's got a good look. What's he doing here? Oh, so he's making the ball change on both lanes, going to the smoother ball on both lanes. Let's see what this is going to do for him. See, like I said, with that ball, if he moves left, that's not making it back up.
Yeah, and his ball speed's so firm, it just hit that spot and just kept on pushing through.
Yeah.
He needs to go back to the timeless and get in and soften his speed, because that ball has a lot of differential. It's got a lot of flare potential.
Definitely. So this is a makeable. I know that 210s is something that you try to pride yourself on making it. Ooh, almost gets lucky bouncing it out of the pit. But 210s is another thing that you should practice, because they are makeable, and they're not easy to make. But if you can make 50% of them, that's bonus.
It's a very common leave anymore.
Yes, definitely. So we got Shanny here. Let's see what he's going to do. Is he going to keep the same ball? And yes, he is. So I think he's going to firm up his speed and just kind of throw it through the spot. Push. Great shot. That's the thing. If he wants to stay with that ball, he's got to stay a little bit firmer, and he's got to stay a little bit closer to the dry to enable it to come up the hill.
Agree.
But that was a great look in the pocket, and as you see, that vortex effect, just of the ball just, sucking in all the pins into the pit, following it into the pit, right? So.
Here's a big shot.
Let's see what PD's going to do here on the left lane. He struck on the last shot, and this is his lane. This is his lane. This is his wheelhouse right here. Great shot. And so, again, he's got to figure out this right lane. If he wants to beat Shannon, he's got to figure out this right lane. He's got to make a big move. I think he's going to stay with the same ball. I don't think he's looking for a ball change, because he doesn't want to give away the pocket. His opponent just split.
Yeah, I think where he threw last time, if he could soften up just a hair or get around it a hair, either one, the ball needs to pick up just a hair bit quicker, and it'll make it off the spot.
Yeah. So we should see maybe a little bit of a hand change for him, just to get a little bit more around it. And let's just see what he's going to do here, because he has yet to strike on this right lane, and this is the lane that gave him trouble in the first match.
Yes.
Let's see what he does here. Definitely got around it a little bit more. Great shot by PD. PD with the great move there. Nice hand rotation around that ball. Look at this. Back in the upswing here. Nice and concentrated. Gets his hand nice and around it. And we see that he kind of twisted a little bit more at the end. And look how this ball comes off the back end of the pattern 10 in the pit.
Boom.
Boom goes the dynamite.
The dynamite kid.
See, even his opponent was like, hey, nice shot, buddy. Great shot there. Shanny's got to come back here.
Yeah, once again, you go to that weaker ball, and you can develop wet driver easily.
Definitely.
And that's what's taking place right now. He feeds to the dry. The ball holds rotation, hits the dry, and jumps, which a ball lesser flare and weaker will, because it needs to seek friction to hook.
Yes. So this is, he needs to bounce this out. And Montmorency here in Quebec City is not a type of center where pins bounce out too much.
Yeah.
We don't see too many messengers. We don't see too many pins bouncing out of the pit. So, you know, any of those leaves here in this bowling center, not any gimmies.
And then there's also fake messengers here. When you hit it, they come in behind or in front. I mean, it's a tough center to carry in. It's very tough.
Donnie still hasn't changed the ball, man.
I know.
Well, he did strike on that right lane.
But now, when he firms up, now what's happening with him is he's trying to move right. He's trying to catch friction, but he's afraid of the ball hooking early. So what is like normal for anybody, you firm up. So once he firms up, the ball blows the break point. He needs to get back in that stronger ball, soften up so he can open the lane up.
Definitely. So what he's gonna do here is move about 4 boards to the right, keep the same target, pick up the spare. Should be a pretty routine spare for him.
And this is what they call thread the needle. I mean, as far as like trying to keep it tight and on line.
Hook. Okay, he's got to sit down. He's got to talk to the people in his corner. He's got to make a move. I don't care. He's not going to win the match with that ball in his hand.
No, it's impossible.
It's straight up. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And right now, PD can bury the hatchet here with a big double 4-bagger going into the next turn. This is must-strike situation here. His back is to the wall.
Yep. If he strikes here, the pressure is really on.
Yeah. And again, good lane.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
Come on, ball, get there.
I mean,
yeah, baby.
I mean, this is the
Gets
one.
the 3-bagger, and again, capitalizing on the fact that that's his good lane.
Yeah, and in the good lane, you're expected to strike.
Yes.
That's all is to it.
That's it.
Now, he's on his nemesis.
Yes. But he made the great move on the last shot on this right lane, and he's going to do it again.
Yes.
He's going to do it again because he knows that he's got his opponent back. His back is to the wall, and he needs to get this strike in the way so he can take a huge commanding lead going into the back half of the game.
He's getting himself set up. I'm sure he's clearing his mind out and just, thinking as little as possible. All he's looking at is executing a shot. Just the change of wrist in the bottom of the swing.
Definitely. Like we said, just tipping that axis just a little bit more. That looks a bit more into it.
Push it.
Yeah,
oh,
baby, big 4-bagger! Hambone!
That sent the messages.
No messenger on that one. That was 10 in the pit. Look at this, guys. He gets around it. He knows it. He knows he's got it. Look at his emotion going in. And yes, baby, he knows that's it. He's not the most emotional type of guy, but inside is probably fireworks. He's probably got some sparks going in his brain right now. And we see Jenny here going back to the original ball that he was using. And dead flush.
Dead open him up.
That's where, you got to chalk it up to experience. And next time he's going to know when he gets on TV that he can't make these type of mistakes.
Once again, we talked about learning. And when he walks out of here, he already has,
Definitely. He's got a +1 in his resume right now.
That's right. He's getting up here to get set up to make a shot. Looks like he moved in a little bit deeper here, so I'm sort of expecting him to soften up his ball speed a little bit. Double
That's
dribble.
That's going to push.
Yep.
Oh, gets high.
Got in, softened the speed up.
Yeah, it looks like he
dropped
dropped it a little bit, got inside target, just tripping the 4-pin. But, PD's making some quality shots here. He doesn't have the best look on the right lane.
No.
But he's making sure. Again, good lane on the left lane here for PD.
Now, maximum he can shoot is 214.
Yes.
So.
Well, PD's in the driver's seat here.
No question.
Yeah, and no question here. I bet you a caramel sundae he's going to strike on this shot.
I'll take that. I like caramel sundaes. You know me, never miss a meal.
Ah, great. Looks like we're going for ice cream. Shucks. I got to redeem myself in the next show.
I'll take a double scoop, please.
Everyone, if you guys share this post, please hashtag Caramel Sunday for Don Mose. Great shot by PD, just leaving the 10-pin.
Oh, God.
Hey, again, one of those oversized Buffa balls on the spare balls.
I'm telling you, actually, it looks like it's expanding as it's going down the lane. Jeez.
Oh, man, great shot there. So basically, you know, great shot there by PD, and he's got his opponent in a bad position. But
necessarily, I mean, if he fills this frame, it's pretty much done.
Yep.
You know, so.
Well, I'm very glad to see that he made that move on the right lane, because he didn't have any, like, not that great of a look.
Well, it's this experience, you know. Yeah. You learn how to read ball reaction. You understand how to get the ball to do tricks.
Great shot, great shot, baby. Great shot.
That one there almost looked like it's switched to his good lane.
That was his best shot of the tournament.
Right there.
Best shot of the tournament right there, and he seals the deal going into the top 8 to face Marc-Olivier Gendron, who won last week's episode, and potentially gain a berth to go up against the A-side winner of Marc-André Gagné, excuse me. Getting choked up here.
You watch his shot here. He got it out and just a little firm. The ball pushed to the spot a little bit and made a very strong motion. So just got a hair long.
Yep.
You know.
But still, Shanny, very, very well represented here. We just got to get the Deadwood out on lane 3. But you know, still great showing by Shanny. Just a little bit late with the bad move, in my opinion, on that ball change. And that was the death of him, unfortunately.
Yep.
You know,
and that's like anybody who's came out here, unless if you were sitting here watching, you know, as far as lane breakdown and lane play, you're going to miss that, you know, as far as that move. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just law of averages. So, you know, one thing I did when I repped on tour is I actually carried a counter, and I'd watch, and all of a sudden I'd look around. The first thing I'd look for is when everybody started bucketing in practice.
Okay.
And I'd mark it, and then I would count how many frames again, and you start seeing the, you know, evolve, and it would give you about how many frames where the lanes broke down. You pass it on. You pass it on to your team.
Yes.
You know, to give them some heads up.
Definitely, and like we were talking a couple weeks ago when I bowled college for Wichita State, that was one of the things too, is to learn how to count frames.
Yes.
And it's funny because I brought this up in league a couple weeks ago with one of my teammates, and I says, you know, on this pattern compared to the old pattern that we used to play on, you can go about 8 frames without making a move. You know, because that was the way and he's like, what do you mean count frames? And I was like, I count frames between moves, so at least I know if I haven't moved for 6 frames, and I know usually on this pattern I got to move 6 frames, at least you get ahead of the move.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing you can look at is when you're counting that way, and you can keep an eye on what's going on. Then maybe all of a sudden, you know, somebody switches balls or something, and a transition takes place quicker, but you're prepared for it. You know it's coming.
Yes.
So, you know, it's not only counting it, but it's also watching when your environment is going on.
And that's one of the big things, the difference between a seasoned pro and a seasoned amateur, because you can have some really good amateur bowlers. The difference between the pro and the amateur is that the pro knows before he makes the preemptive move. He does not wait for the rack to tell him that he has to move. He knows that he has to move because he's counting frames, because he's watching the people around him, because he knows the environment, because he's doing his homework.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So that's the difference. And if you guys want to be able to bowl with the best, please definitely look at the PBA schedule.
How about that?
And get a tournament in. You know, USBC Masters is coming up. Not too far away, just in Syracuse. If you're in the Montreal area, that's only a 4-hour drive.
I am Sparta. Knocked it right over.
That's it. Tomahawk. Headbutt. Great game. Shanny finishing off with a small 170. Still great showing.
Now,
from Shanny.
Now, just for experience, do you try something different here on that left lane?
Come on, man. We've been calling games forever together.
Sure.
You know, like, you know me.
Well, looks like he got in here and even got a little softer
I got some free shots. I would try something definite now.
He got in, got a little softer, and created axis rotation. Now he's really getting comfortable. He's getting a good read out here.
Yeah, but he's got the right ball in his hand.
Certainly does.
Dude, like, seriously, he's if he wants to win the next bracket, he's got to have a good ball reaction like that. He's going to be playing against a lefty in the next round, so he's going to have the whole side of his lane to himself.
Yep.
And he's got 2 righties that are going to be right of him in the first match.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be too worried about it. I think he's got a good look, and I think he's just got to make sure that he keeps that same mindset and just makes great shots.
Yeah, that one there, he just dropped it. but the previous shot prior to that, he got nice and soft and pushed it through really good.
So Pierre-David Levasseur takes the win with 248 over Shani Joubert, 170. Again, great matches going into the top 8. So we've got Pierre-David Levasseur coming out of this bracket today, beating out Pierre Bouchet in the first game, 183 to 200 to 183, excuse me, and then beating Shani Joubert, 248 to 170. So not too shabby today, but still great games.
Great scores.
Yeah, so we're looking forward. Next week, we will have our second half of the top 8 bracket. We've got Simon Tremblay, Olivier Godin, we've got Marc-Olivier Gendron, and Pierre-David Levasseur. So we got 2 great straight players, one guy that likes to bank it, and one southpaw. So again,
I am so stoked looking forward to next week's matches. It'll be incredible.
Yeah, great action. Look forward to next week. This is Strikers, the bowling champions. You got Mark Buffa, Dylan Moe signing out. Take care. See you guys next week.
Keep on striking.